Actually, they're not allowed to do that.
Are they not?
No. So whether they can bully you all they like, they're not allowed to do that.
Well, see, that's what I thought.
They threatened her with her job.
They threatened me with their job. They said, you know, we ask you, and this was what an employee told me because I wasn't there at the time. I was on maternity leave. She said, they're going to ask you your doctor, and they're going to put you in front of the board, and the board is going to question you.
Excuse me.
And
Sorry.
My name's Natalie Wanku.
And you have a story of vaccine injury, don't you?
Yes. Back in 2009, I was in a public high school where they gave out the flu mist, and that was the year that it was the H1N1 combo. I think it was the first year they did H1N1. And they gave it to everyone. And so my mom's like, go get it. So we went and we got it. And
She wanted you to get it. Why?
because she worked in the medical field, and in the medical field you just got vaccines. My mom was one of those people who, if they wouldn't put it on the market if it wasn't safe, you know, why would they do that? But I sent her to go see Vax. I didn't tell her that we've questioned it. I just asked her to go see Vaxxed, and she just said okay, and she went and saw it, and now she's as activist as I am about it.
Okay, wow.
But so she's changed her mind, but she didn't know. And because nobody had told her, she never questioned it. She trusted her doctors. They told her to do it.
she was military. Both our parents were military. So it was on due date we went and got vaccinated. Always growing up.
Wait, are you two sisters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it, sisters. Alright, so so you went to have, so she told you to go and have your H1N1 shot.
I felt uncomfortable with it because I was like, this is the first year with the H1N1. I don't know. And my mom was just like, just do it. It's free. They wouldn't do it's just the flu mist. You know, it's not going to do anything. And so I went and I got it. And I started having panic attacks and things, which I attributed to I'm about to move away to college. I was about to graduate. I was stressing out about moving away to college, and a friend of mine started having full body tremors, and they did all the tests. His dad was an oncologist. His pathologist. His dad's a pathologist, and he had all these weird symptoms. And then I moved away to college, and I was gone for about a month, and I started having full body tremors and jerks. And I went to the ER, and they told me that I shouldn't have taken whatever drugs I took. And they wanted me, and they did, eventually after being there for 4 hours, they finally, come here.
Look at the best story.
Hey Zoe, look.
Yeah, so they told you, they just assumed you were on drugs.
They assumed I was on drugs. They ran a pool panel. They looked at me and said, what drugs are you on? Couldn't get anyone to believe me that this was actually happening. And it would come and it would go. Eventually they gave me anti-seizure medication. That helped a little bit, but it put me so out of it, I had to drop out of college. I lost all my scholarships.
Really? It's awful.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to go back to school because of it. And I was really sick. I always had GI issues since I was a kid. And I just got more and more sick. And then, and I had a doctor look at me in the eye and say, do not get, because the next flu season was coming around, do not get the flu vaccine until you are sure that that's not what caused this. And that was the first time I went, what? And he didn't say it was from it. He just said that he has heard of this as a side effect. And of course, for years and years, I do research. I can't figure out what's going on. I can't figure out why I'm sick. And then I get endometriosis and ovarian cyst, and I had the Gardasil.
You had the Gardasil?
I had all 3 of them. On time. I mean, on the date where it was that you're supposed to get the next one. Yeah, I had gotten the Gardasil. And so I have had endometriosis, I've had ovarian cyst, I've had digestive issues, I've had full body tremors that would come and go. And then I gave up gluten, which helped with the tremors, unless I'm very stressed, and then they do still come back. What's interesting is she did not get the Gardasil. I don't think you got the flu mist that year, did you?
I don't think I did.
I don't think she got the flu mist. She's never had any of the issues that I've had.
Did you have the Gardasil as well?
No, I didn't. I never went to the doctor. It was more out of a laziness. I just didn't want to go to the doctor, and something didn't feel right about the Gardasil, so I didn't get it. And we have a lot of the same allergies. We are both allergic to the same medicine. We're both allergic to gluten. And then we started splitting off. She had more issues that I didn't have, like the endometriosis and like the tremorings. So it was kind of interesting to me that when our mom got all of our medical, we had all the same issues. When we started making our own decisions as we got older, she had more issues than I did because I simply didn't go.
And this year, the H1N1 vaccine is back, and she is working in the medical field, and she wants to try and get out of it, but she can't.
So yeah, tell us what you do. Yeah, good point.
I'm a respiratory therapist, so I go in all the rooms with the flu, and that's, my thing. And of course I work in the medical field. They're like, the flu vaccine, that's what you gotta get, that's what it's all about. Last year, obviously, I was pregnant during the flu season, and so I got out of the vaccine last year when it wasn't mandatory, but I didn't get it. And I never once got sick. Everybody else I worked with got sick at some point in time. I never did. I kept my, and I was immunocompromised. I was pregnant. And this year they're making it mandatory. And I've been on maternity leave. And when I went back, they said, you have to get the flu shot. And unless you fill out a religious exemption. So that is something that I'm having to...
So you can get out of it with a religious exemption?
I can get out of it with a religious exemption, but they're going to, if I fill one out, I think it's kind of a scare tactic. They're going to ask me my doctrine, and the board is going to question you and make sure that your religious exemption, your religious is valid, I guess. And if they somehow deem that this is not true, that you're not being 100% truthful, they can terminate you.
Right. Someone's telling you to contact Alan Phillips, who's a lawyer. That's probably a very good suggestion. But they, do not be bullied by these people. They can say all these things they like. Matter of fact, they are not allowed to question you on your religious exemption at all.
Okay.
It is absolutely none of their business. It's your
privacy. That's what I thought.
Anyway, we'll give you some more details afterwards.
Okay.
But you're just describing what many people are facing.
And that's what, and with this being the first year, and I fight it now, and I make my voice heard, and I make it proven, or I don't have a chance to fight. Because if I don't fight it this year, next year, they're just going to say, well, you weren't religious last year.
So, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but seriously, if you sit where I sit and listen to these stories, your job is not worth any vaccine.
No.
So, if they're going to take that line, you're going to have to be really brave and find another job.
Exactly, but the thing is, I work in a network of hospitals that when I was hired on, they about 50% of the hospitals around, and we have 10, 15 hospitals, and they're probably about 50% is in this chain, this umbrella. And if I get terminated from this hospital, there is a very small possibility of me getting hired at any of the other hospitals locally.
And do you have to? Is that what you're really set on, working in hospitals?
That's my degree. I just graduated not 2 years ago, and still paying off school loans.
I mean, I get it. It's just it's a terrible shame that we're in this situation. But what I do know from the people I'm speaking to is that one shot can mean that you'll never work again.
And this shot scares me even more than most because it does have the N1H1 in it, and Natalie's experience with the N1H1. So it scares me more than any other. And I've talked to my mother-in-law. I opened up and asked her yesterday her view on vaccines, and that was a big leap for me. And she said if I had kids your age, I don't think I'd be getting them. And so it was a huge relief to have, there's more people than just these Facebook groups and just these small people online. And she was telling me about one of her friends that had a cold when she got the shot, which I don't know anyway, and she now is in the hospital with Guillain-Barré. And it's scary.
We speak to, so that's why from my position to you is
it's not worth my job.
You can't have that shot. It's not worth your life.
No.
And you've got a beautiful boy there. How old is he?
He is almost 6 months.
And is he vaccinated?
No. No, he is
And
not.
is your beautiful daughter vaccinated?
No.
Right, so then you guys are going to stay well and healthy to look after your kids, so please be careful about what you put into your bodies.
Yeah. And my husband, just today, a little success story, was he went to the doctor and they asked him if he wanted a flu shot. He said, absolutely not. Not a tetanus, not a flu, nothing. And the nurse said, I don't blame you, and left him alone.
You get the parents who are like, you don't vaccinate, you'll spread the measles everywhere. But I'm finding that the more I talk about it, the more I'm finding other people that are like, well, yeah. And it's becoming, you know, even just when I was pregnant, it felt like I was the only one. And just over the last 2 years, I've noticed a huge increase in people that are understanding and supportive and knowledgeable. And I think it had a lot to do with the Vax movie and a lot to do with, you know, people are just starting to talk about it. And it amazes you how many people question things but don't say, oh, I'm the only one questioning it, and don't say anything.
That was my sister-in-law. She didn't want to get the hospitalization vaccines for her. She has one Zoe's age, and she didn't want to. And I was new in my vax-free journey at that point in time, and kind of told her what I knew, but she got him anyway. But I think she still questions, you know. But I talk to people every day. There was somebody this weekend that she was a nurse, and my husband likes to say, we don't vaccinate, they're toxins, they're chemicals, and walked off and left me to defend us. And I was like, she was a nurse at a local hospital that gives kids vaccines. And she goes, well, you're going to get lockjaw. I said, well, you can't just get the tetanus shot. She goes, yeah, you can. And I said, you can't just get the measles, the mumps, and the rubella, because that's usually how I slide them into, you know, realization of the MMR. And she said, yes, you can.
It's amazing how little they know.
They literally,
She administered vaccines.
yeah, she works at a pediatrician's office, and they don't know that you can't do just a measles, mumps, rubella. She thinks, you know, so it's amazing what they don't know anymore.
Hi.
Don't worry,
These
I'll be
people
bragging.
here do not want you to have any vaccines, please. We've brought in so much. Well, you guys, your sister.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's my thing.
not worth it.
No, and I went, and I just, out of hopes, I went to a allergist, and I'm sure that bill's going to be out the roof, to crossing my fingers, I'm going to have an egg allergy. And he said, nope, you don't have any allergies. I was like, oh, of course not. And when I need them. But it's going to be work, but it's going to be worth it.
There's someone that needs to leave in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to rock and roll. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll
let you know.
We will do not have the vaccine.
I won't.
I don't want to be writing your name on the outside of the bus.
Oh, that'd be Natalie.
Make sure you write yours on the outside of the bus.
I will.
Hi.
Fortunately,
Do you want me to come out to you? Or do you want to come in?
They can help me up.
Okay.
We'll brave it. We be brave.